As I understand though, you can live outside the city limits if you're a registered voter and take it to people inside the city limits.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, anybody can handle a petition, but they have to be, the signatures have to be registered voters in the city of Corvallis.
And we're looking for volunteers that would help, because we're organizing a campaign that we're gonna do by wards, and we're gonna go into neighborhoods and gather signatures by ward sections at a time. And so if anybody wants to volunteer or knows of people that would like to volunteer, because unfortunately for Biff, we're gonna target certain council members.
I have a question for you because
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of ignorant what goes on in Corvallis. Maybe that's a smart move on my part. Do you have to register by ward? The petition has to be for that ward?
No.
Okay, well, I'll take one then.
Sure.
I know a lot of people in Corvallis.
Yes, I can take questions while he's
Something that concerns me, and there have been many things that have gone on in Corvallis lately, is that the taxpayers are paying the salaries for people in the city government to bring businesses into Corvallis, and then they turn around and either drive them out with nitpicking, or they do things like this that discourage these people. And so they need to be working together, not working opposites
The director
at
of
the
the-
taxpayer's expense.
The director of the Chamber of Commerce has aired that same opinion in front of the council in a very diplomatic fashion. So it has been aired to the council, I would say that.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't know the legal procedure for getting signatures, and I certainly don't want to be held in, I don't know, illegal status. Can I go park myself outside of Bimart or, a business and say, can I have a sign that says, please sign a petition? I mean, what are the parameters on, I know I can go door to door, but can I sit outside a local business
Yes.
and,
It is up to that business.
okay,
Many of the businesses, the larger businesses, have a corporate policy that forbids them from doing anything political on their premises. And I even checked with, say, Winco, the owner of the Timber Hill Shopping Center. They have a policy against anybody doing that. And I actually inadvertently contacted the Winco head office in Boise and mentioned that, well, Winco lets the Girl Scouts sell cookies there. And they said, really? And I thought, uh-oh, what did I do now? So, they don't even want Girl Scouts out there.
But you can
But
stand
maybe you
on the
can get-
sidewalk.
You've had your hand up a while.
so if I'm on a sidewalk, that's
Yeah,
okay.
Public sidewalks, public spaces are okay.
perfectly like.
I just wondered by what date you need the 2,000 signatures?
That's a fine question. There's a 2-year collection window from the time the petition was filed. It was filed last August, I believe. So, unfortunately, we can't get the petition on a ballot before June now. It's too late for that. There's a 90-day window from the time the signatures turned in, but it doesn't mean we can't just go ahead and proceed. One council member, not Biff, basically taunted us and said, go ahead, get your signatures in. So, now we got to.
Just one comment real quick here. Why are you having trouble with the voter list? The Republican Central Committee has it, and we get it, twice an election cycle.
Oh, no, we
I've got
have
it
the
now.
voter list.
Okay, it's got all the addresses on it and where the people are registered to vote. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
what's the problem?
The problem is physically getting this to those people to sign.
Oh, okay, but I kind of get it, there's some problem where, like, this business about the college kids, where they're registered, the ones that are here.
Oh, yeah.
It says so on that damn list.
Yeah, it's a matter of finding them. There's a lot of people that care, but there's not enough people that would go out of their way to do something about it.
All right, do you have the list?
Yeah.
Okay, you're all, okay, all right, that's
How
fine.
many people do you have so far?
There's over 600, which dwarfs the number of emails total from either side that were sent to the council.
And you need 2,000.
We need,
We need 2,000 more.
1,990. Okay,
If anybody else has the capability to pass out petitions, I'm
So
happy to.
there's my email address that's associated with this petition is on the back of that form.
okay.
I highly recommend anybody that wants to take one of these forms, send an email, just say, give me the instructions, and I have a list of the do's and don'ts to make sure that all the signatures get counted.
Okay.
And we've just established a Facebook page. And so, if anybody's really into Facebook, I'm not, and so it's really kind of sad there because I don't have many friends on Facebook. But
There are more people who want those petitions to take.
No, but
Like
Carolyn, what I wanted to say is, when we have been petitioners, had, precise training, as to how to do it, because they'll throw a lot of them out, if they're done wrong. Secretary of State will.
Yeah.
And so, I think you need to get a huddle with these people who are taking petitions
Yeah.
Agreed.
and brief them on, what's gonna be negated in the whole thing. The whole page could be thrown out if you ruin one line.
Correct.
And you're supposed to observe people when they're
Correct.
signing.
There's
them.
instructions on the back that
I
cover
know,
the
but-
basics, but yes, I agree with you. That's a good idea.
We'll have a little quick kibitz right over there in the corner after.
Okay.
Anybody else want any petitions?
But anyway, if you're into Facebook, go on it, refer it to friends so they can spread the word.
What's it listed under on Facebook?
Voters for Effective Environmental Policy.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
No, I just want.
Oh, okay.
Wyatt, there's a question here.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Wyatt. Thank you all for your presentation. You probably have the most cogent framework on discussion this evening, and it revolves around something that I feel very strongly about. I really do work in the areas of sustainability across the globe. And just as I go after offenders, I equally go after recognizing and rewarding people who do a good job. So it goes back to your statement of, as you looked at all of the framework of data that the city council considered in making this decision, what was the specific plastic load in the landfill, in Corvallis landfill? What was the intended reduction on passage of the plastic bag thing? Where are the performance and metrics?
I will answer that with that data was not presented. We have asked for what will be fixed by getting rid of these plastic bags. I have yet to hear an answer.
There is no question, that's not something that was even reviewed in any records that I've found.
If not to place you on the spot, but I will. Well, I mean, I know the level of work that went into, so that you know, it's, if you really want to affect change, you gotta be there to do it. So it wasn't, that Sierra Club got their act together, and guess what? We need to do the same thing if you're gonna have impact. But in terms of this impact locally, as you rendered a decision, can you tell us, what was the metric that you looked at the Corvallis landfill and reduction?
My general thought process was not simply around the Corvallis landfill, because I agree with little plastic bags don't take up a lot of space in the Corvallis landfill. It was, and not to get into the discussion of the reports and accuracy and the like and into a debate tonight, I'm not going to go there other than to say, as I read the reports, and a lot of what was gathered were reports from a variety of other institutions, other cities, other governments, other think tank kinds of groups, trying to read through all those and integrate it. And it was looking at the permanent effect of plastic bags, not to just reduce the size of Coffin Butte, because that, I'll agree, we're not having a significant dent one way or the other. Corvallis isn't big enough for all the people that put into Coffin Butte.
And what we found is that each city has followed the previous city's thinking and not researched it and not looked at it. There are cities that have rejected this, and the claim is they were bought off by the plastic companies. But the problem was that they came in with the logical, realistic arguments.
The city of Fort Collins had been debating their own plastic bag ban for nearly a year. And last November, they decided, you know what, this is not for us. And they stepped up a notch on the recycling program. They chose to do that instead of banning. So, some people, not all cities agree.
And that's
So
one
we
thing
had some questions over here, so let's get to them.
I was just curious with all your research that you were doing, following letters and all that, did you find any financial donations, any like, now we're so special that we care about the environment so much, someone like Mr. Bill Gates might give us a huge donation? Have you seen this trend in these other 70 cities? And was there a quota as being part of ICLEI that you need to do a certain amount of initiatives? I mean, have you found
I'm not
any of
aware
that?
of one, but I will say that, is anybody familiar with something called Agenda 21? Yeah, okay. So, Biff said that they started addressing this bag ban issue in, what was it, 2011? It's in the public record, clear back to 2007, where they were talking about banning some plastic in Corvallis. And one of the things that they started to do was ban the styrofoam to-go containers at restaurants. It was reviewed that enough restaurants, correct me if I'm wrong here, Biff, enough restaurants had already switched to the paper alternative, that it didn't seem worth their time anymore. Coining a phrase here. But then it shifted the focus of what they were banning.
Yeah, and it was then that Deborah Higsby Sadaka came in with the other proposal.
And they didn't actually file, the Sierra Club never filed an actual petition, by the way. It was just some data that they presented to council.
And by the way, I
So
just,
you had a
So
question
to, just to correct a couple of things first, and then on that last one, they presented a completely written ordinance to us.
They did.
They did.
There was no petition as we are being forced to file.
That's correct. They came to city council and asked, and then we spent 7
and
months
that
after
ordinance
that.
was based on what other cities had done, yeah.
Yeah, there was a
A
copy.
variety of sources, yes. I'm not arguing, I'm just saying. They presented a completed ordinance.
They did.
They came using the city council processes. They participated. We went through this for 7 months, and
So can
Are
we?
you
Let me just comment one
Is it
thing, that
required
I,
by